Alright, new city, new me. Now let's drive to the store to get a few things. This should only take me like a few minutes. We're halfway there. Okay, I finally made it back home. Time to unpack everything. I forgot something at the store. Let's go back and get it.
Atlanta, Georgia has gotta be one of the worst cities to drive through in the entire United States, seemingly coming out of nowhere within the last few years to arguably being worse to drive through than New York City. Everyone keeps moving here for the promise of better opportunity and possibly a better financial situation, but it's actually just a lie because now they're stuck in purgatory. Due to a lack of foresight and terrible planning from the government officials in Atlanta, driving in Atlanta fucking sucks! Driving through Atlanta is top 10 worst experiences you could ever experience in your life. That's right, it's that bad! You wanna go somewhere? I'm sorry, it's an hour away. Doesn't matter that it's 10 feet across the street. You gotta drive 20 minutes to get there. You wanna go into downtown? Forget it, bro. It's gonna take you 5 years to get there. You wanna go to Walmart? That's gonna take you 10 hours. What's that? It's actually not crowded today? And there's not as much traffic as usual? Oh my goodness, yes, we're gonna make it. Just kidding, I lied. It's backed up now because Chick-fil-A had a deal today. It doesn't matter if you don't live there either. If you're just driving through Atlanta because your GPS told you to go through there to get to your destination, even you get to experience how terrible it is as well. It's like that one episode of SpongeBob where he was getting dragged through the cheese graters. It's like you'll be driving through the highways, having a great time, jamming to music, cruising down the highway. Then all of a sudden, you go to Atlanta. Get me out of here. You're never the same once you've driven through Atlanta because you gain a new appreciation for what you truly believe to be terrible traffic. Like, I thought Miami traffic was bad. Having to deal with I-95, having it take 20 minutes to go one singular mile on the road. I didn't think it was possible to get much worse, but somehow Atlanta just manages to top every expectation you might ever have about the place. Like, surely it can't be that bad, but it is every time. It's like, I don't know how it does it. It's arguably just as bad as New York City, even though it has a fraction of the population. But why is it so bad? Why is Atlanta's traffic so much worse than every other place? Why is it so terrible? Well, Atlanta is a very extreme example of car-dependent urban design, so much so that it's actually one of the most car-dependent cities in the world, even in comparison to other major cities. Now, Atlanta actually started out as a railroad junction, which is pretty ironic considering what it is today, and in 1837, it was established as the endpoint of the Western and Atlantic Railroad, which made it a pretty strategic location. Its population would explode in later years, and when the automobile came along, Atlanta fully embraced it, shutting down their extensive streetcar system and being fully car dependent by the 1950s. And because of the way this region developed, almost every single daily trip solely relies on this very limited highway network with basically zero alternatives. And with the population still rapidly growing every year, you can see how this might become an issue. Atlanta's roads were not designed for this many people. In fact, in 2025, residents in Atlanta lost an average of 61 hours in rush hour traffic for the entire year. That's 2.5 days, up an additional 6.5 hours from the previous year. And this is only counting rush hour traffic. This isn't even taking into account the regular daily traffic. But if I had to sum it up quickly, it's because of the general road infrastructure and lack of bypasses. Yeah, sure, you can argue that I-285 is a bypass, but even though it was meant to be one, it's just turned into a local route now. It doesn't matter what time you go through. You could go through at 5 p.m. during rush hour. You could go at 2 in the morning. You could go at, I don't know, 1 p.m. in the afternoon. It's gonna be backed up regardless. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Especially these three areas in Atlanta. These are super underrated in terms of people talking about them as being highly contested spots for terrible traffic. To give you guys an idea on just how bad these areas are, the American Transportation Research Institution published their own list on the top 100 worst bottlenecks in the entire United States. And in the top 15 on that list, 30% of it is just in Atlanta alone, just in one city. Even this spot right here where I-85 and I-285 meet was ranked #1 worst freight bottleneck in the country for 3 straight years, from 2016 to 2017 and 2018, and it's still in the top 5 to this day, better known as Spaghetti Junction by the locals. But why is it so bad? Why does it suck so much driving through Atlanta rather than every other city? Well, main reason being, there's almost no alternatives to driving in Atlanta. You're gonna need a car for pretty much everything. Another reason is the lack of bypasses. There's no other route to take. Like, if you want to get anywhere in the city, you need to take take the interstate, and what does that do? It funnels everybody onto the same road. And when you have a metro population of over 7 million people, you can see how that can start to be a big issue. And because of their strong emphasis and reliance on just solely using interstates to get around, Atlanta has earned a spot as some of the worst traffic in the world. And this was very apparent with Snowmageddon 2014, when just 2 inches of snow completely ruined the entire city for 24 hours.
It's a day many people in Atlanta won't soon forget. Everyone tried to get home at once as the snow fell, slush freezing on the roadways and trapping drivers, kids forced to sleep at schools, and drivers abandoning their cars.
Thankfully, this has largely been fixed in recent times because Atlanta is better prepared for a situation like this now, but it's still worth noting that Atlanta's entire infrastructure was completely crumbled because of 2 inches of snow one time. But which parts of Atlanta would be the easiest to drive through? Like, surely there has to be something. Okay, here. I have a list for you guys of the easiest ones to drive through versus the worst. Okay, so first off, the easiest one is by far I-20. Now, that doesn't mean that it's a complete breeze. You definitely still will run into some traffic, but compared to the rest of the interstates in Atlanta, this one is by far the best one. Now, next up is I-85. I-85 is much worse, but it's still, it's still drivable to an extent until you get to the downtown connector, but we'll get to that later. One thing I forgot to mention is that I-85 actually collapsed at one point. Though this was just a one-time incident, yeah, I can imagine it probably wasn't fun trying to get home on this day. Now, next up, for the second worst, is I-285. What was meant to be the bypass, it was meant to guide you around the city. But in reality, this isn't even a bypass anymore. You're not bypassing anything. This is just a local route now. This is just the route that everyone takes to get to one place to another. It's like pick your poison type of thing. Instead of dealing with this traffic, you'll deal with this one over here. It was meant to save you time, but honestly, I think it might take you even longer to get to your destination depending on where you're going if you take I-285. Especially around this area up here, it's just horrible. I don't think there's any time of the day you could drive through there and it'll be a smooth experience. I just don't think it's possible. An honorable mention has gotta be SR 400. The only reason it didn't make this list is because it's not an interstate. Now, by far the worst one is I-75. You guys have told me about this highway many times, but I-75 is by far the worst as it ranks among the deadliest interstates in the entire United States, running straight through the middle of downtown. But there's one thing that I didn't mention. There's actually a secret road, except it's actually not very secret at all. It's in plain sight that I didn't mention. That is worse than all of these roads combined, and that is the downtown connector in Atlanta is an absolute atrocity. It is horrible. One of the worst stretches of interstate that you will ever drive on. This one was doomed from the very start. The roadways that I mentioned earlier, the interstates, I-85 and I-75, they combine into one. And it just makes this concoction of terrible. Like, even Google Maps isn't safe from it. If you go on there through Street View, it doesn't matter. Like, it's midday, it's midnight. It's just endless torture. It's just purgatory. It's jail without the jail sentence. Because the only thing you're gonna be thinking about when driving on that 7.5 mile stretch of road is fuck. But why is the downtown connector so bad? Well, in order to understand that, we need to look at a brief history of that road. So the downtown connector in Atlanta was first proposed in the 1940s as part of the regional transportation plan to improve traffic flow, and then construction began in 1948. And then the highway was actually completed in 1964, becoming the shared route for I-75 and I-85 through downtown. While it improved transportation temporarily, it also displaced a bunch of neighborhoods and divided communities. During the 1980s, the connector underwent major expansion that widened it to as many as 10 lanes and modernized interchanges as part of GDOT's Freeing the Freeways program. Since then, additional bridge improvements and traffic studies have been completed to address ongoing congestion. Now, how does any of this explain why the downtown connector is so bad to drive through? Well, it goes back to what I said earlier. The highway was simply not meant to handle this many people. It wasn't built for this. In fact, the same can be said for every highway in Atlanta, because it's just a constant game of catch up from the government to fix the congestion. Let's add tolled roads. Let's add express lanes. Let's actually just add even more lanes. Adding one more lane is just not enough anymore. That's just gonna do more harm than good. I think the only way they can really improve this is just not have it be as dependent on interstates to travel through everything. But honestly, I think at this point, that's a lot easier said than done, considering the fact that the entire city is built around cars being the main way you get around. And this is all without even mentioning how many car accidents happen on these highways every day. Both I-75 and I-85 I-85 both rank in the top 10 deadliest interstates in the country, and that's solely because of Atlanta. The only reason I-85 ranks higher is because it's shorter, so the ratio is a bit different. But if you were to make them the same length, I-75 would be deadlier than I-4 in Florida, just because of Atlanta. Especially with the spaghetti junction that there is with a lot of these interchanges. There really is no escaping the traffic here. You know, what was once a city that you used to be able to drive through relatively okay, has now just turned into, you know, a big mess. But guys, I got an idea. I know how to fix Atlanta traffic. So what if we just like erase everyone in the city from existence? There we go. Bam. Problem solved. There's no more traffic. This is a totally solid bulletproof plan. Nothing could possibly go wrong with this. It's really unfortunate because Atlanta is a very beautiful city, but a place that was once known for its abundance of jobs and opportunity is now just known for something else, along with actually trying to get to work. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. A lot of those jobs have largely disappeared now with the influx of people moving in, because Atlanta isn't known for opportunity anymore. It is solely just known for its traffic. So the promise of opportunity and a better life, better jobs has largely disappeared and has just been turned in place with misery. Important announcement. Recently, things have freed up in my personal life. So with the extra time I have now, I decided, you know what? I just started streaming on Twitch recently. In fact, this very video that you're watching was actually edited live. Who is farting in my ear? It's Will. Will.
Fuck you, 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 fuck you,
I'm getting
fuck you,
sweared at
fuck
right
you,
now by
fuck you.
Will. And I'm actually live streaming right now at the time this video is posted. So if you want to stop by and say hi, or just witness the chaos that goes on, or even watch me as I edit some of these videos live, then I'll leave a link in the description or pinned comment so that you can tune in right after this video ends. Well, firstly, I gotta thank all the Patreon members. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support the Patreon, and all you members that are joining for free, I see all of you. Oh, and don't think I forgot about you, YouTube members. I see you guys too.